Okay, now that we have our carb all cleaned up, got our little drain hose back on there, we're ready to put it back on to the bike. So first thing, remember how the throttle slide came out? There's a little groove on it so that it doesn't turn. If you just find the groove in your carb and slide it down there, this might take a couple tries, but once it sets in the groove, it'll go all the way down. If not, then your throttle will be stuck full open and it'll hurt you. And it takes me a couple seconds to find it. Okay, so there we go. Slid all the way down in. Make sure you do not cross thread these top nuts, this top nut here. Just screw it right back on. Nice and tight here. And sits in there. And get your carb back. Stupid choke lever. Get your carb back where it was sitting in there. Can slide it back onto these bolts on the engine mount here. And this is a pain in the butt. Slide that back on there, nice and clean. You can put that nut back on there. Okay, we're gonna put this nut back on here. Took me a minute to find where I set it. Just once again, threads, don't cross thread it, and it's kind of the thing with engines. You cross thread it, you're screwed. I've never actually done it myself, but I've heard of people who have. That's nice and tight on there. Carb doesn't jiggle. You can put your fuel line back on here. And this is a pain in the bugger here. Okay, now that that's on there all the way, the next thing is to do is to start it. This is where, like my bike, an XR200R, is kind of hard to kick over, just straight out. So you fill up your gas. Turn on your fuel here. It'll start filling up your bowl, and it has to fill up this whole thing so the jets can draw in gasoline before it'll start. If everything's tight and everything's got a good suction on it here, you can take your starting fluid, and I'll show you how to start it here in a second. Okay, so here's where it starts to get tricky. You have to start your carb, you have to start your engine, and the carb, now that it has fuel in it, I let it sit for a minute before I started. I let it go. There's either two ways I can do this. My bike burns a little bit rich, so I don't usually have to put the carb, choke it. So I choke it. So what I usually just do is set it with no choke. I'll give it a little spritz with this starting fluid. Should be no more than 3 seconds. Give it a couple kicks, and usually it'll start right up. You'll hear a little bit of airflow. Give it a couple kicks. If it doesn't start, give it another spritz of starting fluid there. Don't be too generous on starting fluid, because it's not always good. Okay, now that I got my bike started, I'm pretty well sure that I cleaned it up good. If it doesn't have a very good rhythm, just I guess clean it up some more if necessary. Then it's pretty much reassembling of the airbox. Just reconnect that clamp. Clamp doesn't have to be too tight. and there's not really much more. And if you're having problems with, if you find a lot of dust in your carb, you should check your air filter. Air filter's another video. Cleaning, replacing, it's all good to go. Some of this can be kind of tough. If you have any questions, just ask. You can either do that straight from the video or straight message me on YouTube. Thank you.